Good morning, everyone. I hope this finds you doing well and enjoying some downtime with this sudden burst of cold weather that we've had of late. Sounds like this weekend will be a little nicer, so I'm looking forward to that. It sure has been an interesting year here at the Wisconsin PGA. Unfortunately, obviously, we weren't able to get together in person on Monday and enjoy the fall meeting and the merchandise show. Hopefully, a few of you were able to take advantage of the sales representatives that were there last week. Before I get into some comments on the packet that you have and touch on some highlights, I wanted to just say a few thank yous, and probably more than normal. First of all, I want to thank all of you for your support throughout the year at your facilities, at our events, and just with the game in general. I received more comments this year from amateur players, young, old, parents, talking about what a great job all of you did, making them feel welcome, making them feel safe, enjoy the game, enjoy outdoors, feel some sanity in their life. Obviously, it was a weird time back, particularly early spring, early summer, and now again. Hopefully we ride this out and things change for the better soon. I want to thank all of you for doing your best to follow the rules and guidelines in place. I know it isn't always easy. Amazing that rounds are up as much as they are. That certainly helped a lot of us, golf revenues being up, but we also understand that without outings and weddings and events, that there's a struggle out there for a number of facilities that kind of specialize and depend in that type of revenue streams. I want to thank the board of the Wisconsin PGA for their support, particularly in the spring, all year, but particularly in the spring. Same with the Tournament Policy Board. We had to put a lot of different things in place, make a lot of tough decisions. Our relationship with the Allied Associations has never been better after this spring. Rob Jansen from the State Golf Association, Jeff Schwister from the golf course owners, and I early on determined ourselves to be essential, which I thought was pretty cool because I've never thought of myself that way before. But we're obviously in here fighting to get things open and making decisions and trying to inform and communicate as best we could. It was difficult, but we all got through it. We made some key decisions, I think, at some good times. I think hiring the lobbyist when we did was a great move. We were able to get the Club Managers Association Badger chapter and the Wisconsin golf course superintendents involved with that process as well. Opened communication lines that they've always been open, but not that much. I want to thank our attorney, Thor Lundgren, but I don't know how many hours Thor spent on COVID-related items, interpreting state orders, local orders, you name it, and Thor does it all pro bono. Another thank you would go to the staff, Chris and Andy and Erica and Leland, our full-time people, and then our interns, our summer help, Ed, Faith, Brent, and Jack. They did an outstanding job implementing new rules, new policies, changed the way we did a lot of things. We conducted 130 events roughly in 20 plus weeks. Didn't run a single shotgun start. All of us probably spent more time on the first or 10th tees than we have in our life. And while some of those days were long, it was quite frankly the only way we got to see you, and we got to see your guests, your customers, your members, enjoying pro-ams, enjoying events. We ran over 100 junior tournaments in that stretch, and really without issue. Pace of play had never been better in the vast majority of our events, which is an interesting byproduct of all of this. Hopefully we can continue that. Our numbers in section events were solid. Most were up. The only ones that were down, quite frankly, is because we had to limit capacity sizes. With that, I want to thank our hosts and those that couldn't host because of rules or because we had to cancel early in the year. Thank you for your understanding to those facilities. I know it was disappointing to a couple of you when we moved your events because of the rules in place in your particular county. Thankfully, we're able to book and come back, and you welcomed us in 2021, so we're looking forward to that. Our memberships on the Junior Foundation were down about 120 or about 10%, which isn't surprising. We had a lot of new members, but certainly some parents did not get their children involved in activities this summer because they weren't comfortable doing so. But with that, we were up over 500 entries, over 7%. So they played a lot, those that played. Want to mention the 100th Wisconsin State Open. What a great event. We had a great champion, Harrison Ott, but we had retained O'Reilly Public Relations this year, and one of the highlights to me was working with Beth on the State Open. We received more media support for that event than we have received probably since the days when Steve Stricker played in the event back in the early 90s, or late 90s, early 2000s. Touch a little bit on social media. When we were kind of in lockdown in the spring, we did a lot of staff meetings and calls, and obviously virtually, but one of the things we wanted to focus on was social media for 2020, and the team did a great job with that. Instagram, for example, I don't remember who it was, but came up with the idea of a logo challenge, and we ran with it, and congratulations to Maple Bluff Country Club for being the first ever champion. We are discussing a round 2 of that because a number of facilities said, hey, why didn't we get a chance to be in there? So we got plenty of facilities. We can do another one and then have a battle at the end. Could probably do a couple more, actually. But just as an example, our Instagram, we barely had scratched the surface in the section, had maybe 100 followers in spring, and now we have almost 1,300. So huge improvements across all platforms. Another thing that happened out of our events is we did live scoring all year on the section side. And I know a few of you did not like it. You didn't want to do it. You did it. We appreciate it. It's probably here to stay, so I hope you got used to it. Positive to that is we received, I don't even know how many, countless compliments about the fact that people, friends, family could go online and see how you were doing in your events, good or bad, indifferent. And while you're playing the events, you could check out leaderboards, see where you stood, you know, and I think it was great. I want to thank all of our sponsors that stuck with us throughout the year. A few of them we adjusted because events were canceled and things like that, which was only fair. From 2020, we did lose a few sponsors. From 2019, I'll just rattle off that list, and this is the same thing I do when we meet in person, so I'm not trying to call anybody out or anything like that, but the sponsors we had in 2019 that we didn't have in 2020 included the Thornberry Creek LPGA Classic for obvious reasons. There was no event. Maui Gym, Haas Jordan, Earth Networks, Cutter and Buck, Cobra Puma, Callaway, Aftershocks, and Adidas. We're hoping that many of those rejoin us in the future, and I'm sure they will. Some tough decisions a lot of companies made this year. We did add a bunch of new ones though too, which somewhat is surprising, but some of them saw this as an opportunity to market and get out in front of people, and those include Complete Office of Wisconsin, Dunning Golf, Fairways to Heaven, Golf Travel, 4Up, Golf Status, Iconic we're working on right now. We're working with X Golf right now. Microbe Free Wisconsin, great product, allowed us to play what I would call normal golf at the state opens. And Open Rounds, a service that private clubs can utilize to get their members on other private facilities around the country. So don't be surprised if some of them reach out. Obviously, any thank yous to them is great. If you played in an event, it's great if you thank them on site, send them an email. And some of these, quite frankly, they don't involve events. So if you can just reach out and say, hey, I heard you're part of the Wisconsin PGA, I appreciate it. So that goes a long ways. It's about them doing business, but it's also a big part of it is at least being recognized for the money and the effort they're spending to reach you. I want to touch on the financials a little bit from Mike O'Reilly's report in the packet. I want to touch on Las Vegas Pro-Am and give you a little breakdown of what went on there. That was a crazy, crazy time. That's when everything kind of blew up. It was an intense week, that's for sure. We went from we're going on Monday to maybe we're going on Wednesday to Thursday. The trip is canceled, and if you still want to go, you can go. We had about 70 people still head out there, myself included, out of the 250. To give you an idea, we had to work with the Mirage, 3 different golf courses, Southern Highlands, TPC Las Vegas, and Rio Seco, and Topgolf, working to get our customers' money back because we prepay almost everything in Las Vegas. So we had $350,000 to $400,000 out there, and they were all great to work with. To give you an idea of how this all went so fast, on the Monday before our event, we asked Topgolf what happens if we cancel, and they told us that we would get a 25% credit for future use. By Wednesday, it was 50%. By Friday, it was 100% credit. And by the next week, Wednesday, they said they'd return our money. We were able to recoup most of the money. We made a decision to refund all of the amateurs less $150. And at that point, the section looked to lose about $10,000 because we were sitting on tea gifts, 250 of each item. Thankfully, about half of the contestants decided to take the tea gift. And then we were able to liquidate golf balls through the WSJ and through the Oliphant Pro-Am Championship, and then some odd and end sales. And we actually ended up with a small $4,800 net gain. I want to touch a little bit on the relief acts that were out there. The section, because it's a 501c6, is not eligible for payroll protection program, unfortunately. Lobbyists, if you don't know, are lumped into 501c6s, and so there was no way that was ever going to happen in our view and the PGA of America's view. We were able to apply for an EIDL loan, economic injury disaster loan, and we received $4,000 from that, which we do not have to repay. And we were also eligible for the employee retention credit, and we received a credit of $28,000 at this point, and I believe we're going to receive another $4,000. We listed the dates we were impacted as about March 12th through the end of August, which is accurate. So with those things, between Vegas and the loans that will be forgiven or not charged, the tax credit, instead of the section and the foundation losing about $80,000 this year, it looks like we're only going to lose closer to $30,000. So very grateful for that. It could have been a tough year, although we've done a great job over the last 30 years of creating a reserve fund. So we were prepared for something like this, I guess, financially as best you can. I want to thank everybody that plays in events or hosted an event that needed to get paid by the PGA of America. If you're not aware, they went to mandatory ACH direct deposit payments. So no checks were cut to PGA professionals after sometime in early June. And we are the only section in the country right now that doesn't have a member sitting at an outstanding payment because they didn't do their ACH form. So thank you to those last couple stragglers that got it done the last few days. Highlight a little bit on our Mike O'Reilly Again's membership report, talking about marketing and PR. I mentioned Beth O'Reilly earlier with the State Open. She did many other things, special awards, Players of the Year, Players of the Decade, special interest stories. She made me get interviewed by the Business Journal in Milwaukee, and I guess it went well, but got a lot of good feedback, and I think that's the point. It's not about me, obviously, but it's about promoting the PGA and promoting golf. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to promote you. We're trying to promote the game. The four things we're looking at is we're creating a new website that's consumer-based, where we want people to find PGA members at places to play or practice, places to take lessons. So it's play and learn. It's get club fit. So those three things. And then also how to get started working in golf, whether it's just part-time or whether it's a career. Those are the things that we've heard that you want and deserve, and we're not always sure that that's delivered at the higher level, at least down to our spot. So Nelson and Schmidt, we're working with them. They're a Milwaukee-based agency. Between them and the PGA of America, we coordinated 3 photo shoots, video shoots this fall. We were in Kohler at Whistling Straits with Mike O'Reilly. We were at Missing Links with Mary Hafman, and we were at Hidden Glen with Kevin Cramp, filming, playing the game, teaching the game, club fitting, adults, kids, women. We're going to create some television spots that we might use during certain times. We're definitely creating social media spots that we can continue to use and put out there as things for our website. And we're going to continue to increase and better the content that we have on that site. We're working hard with the PGA of America and Nelson and Schmidt on developing a good search engine. Last, I want to thank everybody that played in an event. The respect you showed, the happiness to be there was very important to us. It means a lot. Those of you that didn't get a chance to play this year or typically don't play, we'd love it if you would grab your clubs, grab a partner, and come out and play in a pro scramble. It's low stress. There's usually some food after. There's good camaraderie. There's usually some fun. There better be. Otherwise, why are we doing it? So it would be great to see you. We like seeing you, and it's important that you stay connected as much as you can. So I'm going to wrap up now and hope you have a great winter, and I truly hope we see a lot of you or all of you on March 8th at the Wilderness Resort in Wisconsin Dells for our spring meeting. So thank you for your time.